Okay, we're ready. Good morning. Today I'm going to be getting all this stock prepared. Got a whole load of floorboards. I had 36 square meters of it, of American walnut dried. They ain't going to move nowhere. I had the grooves underneath them. I put them through the thicknesser already, so they're nice and flat. You see how flat they are, they don't bounce. So I'm just going to rip off these edges. So I use this Hexagon tile to get the perfect 30-degree angle, 60-degree angle. It's a tip from DIY Montreal. I was watching a thing about making hexagons and she says if you go to the tile shop, get one of these. They're always perfect, they're better. For me, I personally find them more accurate than the measuring tools because it always stays the same. The measuring tools, it can be 1 mil off or whatever. Anyway, this fits perfect. So that's the angle I'm going to use. use a screw. Just got a threaded screw. It works perfect for this. Put a dab of glue on the screw, stick it in the hole, spin round. I do the whole box in about 3 minutes. These plugs are tapered, so I've drilled a 10mm hole. This is a 10mm hole, and these plugs taper from the bottom is 9.5mm and the top is like 10.5mm, something like that. So when you squeeze it in, if your hole isn't so perfect, this makes all your holes look perfect. I'll show you right in a minute. When I bang them in, you'll see they go in so tight. So I've got these boxes made. I've got 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8 with all the dowels in. I need some way of opening it because once you've got the hinges on, it's not very, you can't get your fingers in. So on the bobbin sander, I've just sanded out the center of that, which makes it a nice little spot to get your finger in. Obviously that edge needs a bit of softening out. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So take the lid off. Gives it a nice little grip. So I've done all the boxes with these oak dowels. I got these custom made. These are CNC cut brass dowels. They're tapered on one end, so the underneath is about 9.5mm and the top is 10.5mm wide. So if you drill a 10mm hole, you stick it in, you'll get a nice tight fit. So I'm going to stick them in now with resin. So I've just mixed up this resin. Use a screw to get it in, it makes no mess. Yeah, yeah.
Phillips screwdriver.
Just a wood nozzle then.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure it's had some cookies, I think.
I needed a space to be able to spray my boxes. See here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 boxes I'm going to spray up. Now I've got the boxes here, the lids there. Now I've got this little trough thing here, which is on a 30 or 60 degree angle, which works out really well because I could slide these things down and, you know, I don't risk them falling over anywhere. So as I'm spraying them, I can move them down the conveyor belt. And those are the lids there. Excuse, I've not got the most amazing lighting here, so you'll have to excuse me, but I'm just going to get these sprayed. First batch I like to mix with thinners, so it makes it a bit more penetrable. Make sure we get some fresh air in here. The door's open, windows open. Okay, we're ready. So it's the next day. I came in and obviously I was spraying in quite a bad light, so I didn't realise the extent of what happened, but basically the lacquer's gone all cloudy. I don't know if you could tell, but that's just really cloudy. For example, you can see it on this. You can see it's all white at the end. Now, I was looking online and I found something called, some guy he used butyl cellulose or whatever. First I heard you get a heat gun, so I went and bought myself a heat gun. Did no work. And then I saw this guy, he was using a chemical called butyl cellulose. And when I was looking at the uses for butyl cellulose, people use it as a degreaser, and I realised I've got a bottle of degreaser, WD-40 degreaser, so I came and used it and it's amazing. So look at this. All the white gone. And it's a solvent base, so it will evaporate and disappear. So I've had to sand this back down. After I put the degreaser on, it went white again. I think originally the lacquer just it didn't penetrate because I sanded it too well because of these brass pieces. The only problem is now that I've sanded it down to 320, you got a load of scratch marks. So what I've done is, you can see I've done it on this. I've used a little polishing head and I polish them individually, but then it leaves a load of polishing stuff in the grain. So just go over it with some degreaser and rub it out and it all comes out. It's nice and shiny now. So I'm just going to do that to the rest of them. So just for this box with the brass, I've decided to finish it with oil, because the oil won't form a layer on top of the brass, and before I could scrape away the brass. I could scrape away any lacquer that was sat on the brass, so I'm just using some Osmo here, and it gives it a nice finish. I'm going to do 2 coats of it. I think that looks great. I know it's not the greatest light here, I've got terrible lighting in here. You'll have to trust me on this, it looks great. Feels nice. Nice and smooth. I've sanded it down to 320 up. Sanded it up to 320. And I've just polished these individually. I'm going to let that dry and then I'll do a 3rd coat. Good morning, I'm back in the cabin, i.e. the spray booth. Done some test pieces. So you can see these boxes look all white. That's after I sprayed some degreaser on them to remove the whiteness from the lacquer, because the lacquer went all white. Even if I put more lacquer on it, it stayed white for some reason. So I put the degreaser on, and it obviously it's gone back to white now, but at least now when I lacquer it, the lacquer stays. So I've done a test piece. You can see that's the underneath where the lacquer didn't go because I had it on my spray things, but you can see that's a white one, and that's basically taking it back down to bare wood, and that is a lacquered piece. So I'm just going to spray up the rest of these. So I've got all these sprayed up, looking nice and shiny, feel very nice to touch. And I'm just going to get all the hardware put on. This is one with the hardware on, got the side clips, got the hinges.